We love hearing what students are reading. Sometimes it's from class, sometimes it's just a book that really stayed with you. Alex, what is your favorite book you've read this year?
My favorite book I've read this year, I think one of my favorites that we read definitely was The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I read this in my normal English class for Mr. Cannon.
That's such a unique and unsettling story. How do you see Gregor's transformation affecting his sense of duty and responsibility to his family?
In Metamorphosis, the main character, Gregor, the start of the book, it just opens with him being a beetle now. Now, for the context, he was the only man working in his family. He was what gave the family an income, essentially just let them rest in a sense. And when Gregor turns into a beetle, his first instinct isn't, I'm a beetle now. No. It's like, I gotta go to work. I woke up a little late. So when he tries to work, his family tells him to rest, which is a good thing. However, as a beetle, he can't do anything. He's basically, throughout the entire novel, he's just stuck in his room, in the house, pretty much the rest of the novel. So his duty and responsibility, his responsibility is essentially taken away from him, and he has essentially nothing to give.
Do you think Gregor is treated justly by his family, or does their response reveal something about human nature and compassion?
Okay, so Gregor is taken care of by his family. He lives with his mother, his father, and his sister. I believe her name is Greta. Now, originally, the family pretty much just doesn't like the fact that Gregor is essentially just being a lazy person. Because they don't see him as, he's a bug, he can't work. They see him as, he's just lazy and he's not working anymore. So that means we have to work. And they kind of resent him for just not working based off things he can't control. And what makes this even worse is that the person who loved him the most, Greta, in the entire family, eventually turns on him because she has to work now. And then slowly with the entire novel, she just slowly hates him more and more. And this shows. Because whenever Gregor tries to interact with his family, which are basically just isolating him alone in the thing, his father throws an apple at him. And this apple gets lodged into his shell and pretty much kills him like a week after. So about the human nature bit, to me this is very interesting because different authors have tried different takes on the idea of what to do, or to reveal the idea that after retirement, people pretty much just brush you aside and just kind of let you just sit around and rest, quote unquote. I think one of my favorite authors, George Orwell, wrote a book called Animal Farm. And in Animal Farm, there was this horse named Boxer. Boxer was the pinnacle of the hard worker. He was the strongest and he did the most work out of everyone in the farm. And once he finally got a leg injury and couldn't work anymore, you would think that he could finally just enjoy rest. But no, he gets sent to the glue factory for the pig's own financial gain. And it just shows that after someone's done essentially providing to society, society just seems to brush them off or use them one last time, in a sense. So I feel like when it comes to human nature, the way the family treats Gregor it just reveals an aspect of our society that we don't really pay attention or mind what happens after you're done contributing.
After reading the novella, what do you think it suggests about what gives a person dignity and worth?
I feel like everyone should deserve at least a basic form of dignity. I mean, the family definitely did not treat Gregor well with that intent because they really just isolated him and made him just forced to stay in his room. And when he didn't, he just eventually died because of it. So I feel like the book shows how we don't really give those who don't give worth dignity despite them being human.
How has your classical education shaped the way you interpret Gregor's story and think about virtue, sacrifice, and human dignity?
Okay. In my classical education, I think I've heard several different opinions and interpretations of the story of the Metamorphosis. Originally, I just saw it as more of like a thing on like how we treat, patients who can't work anymore, like brain injuries. But with my education and with my classmates, I've realized it is more about a book about how society can just discard your worth entirely and treat you like less than human, like a bug. And I think this has changed the way I read books nowadays. Nowadays, I look through them with a more critical lens, try to analyze their meaning. Like one of my most recent works I've been reading by myself was Lord of the Flies, which I didn't really take it as a book about human nature until I was talking to some of my classmates and some of my teachers about it, and they really opened my eyes about the true meaning behind it.
This year, you've had the opportunity to be the school mascot. What has been your favorite part?
Favorite part of being a mascot? Okay, there's a lot of things I enjoy about being a mascot, right? Like, of course, the one part I don't like is, it gets so hot, but at the same time, it's kind of worth it because I just get to like there really is no other thing. I could just dance, and people were like, and you know what? I like that. I could just dance, and I'm doing my job. It's great because I like being I guess my reactions to different things going on. Like when we're doing our pep rallies, I like being like showing my emotions in a more like physical sense because as a mascot you can't really show much facial expression. So I really like doing body language when it comes to being a mascot. Also, people that cheer, the community itself is really nice.